Welcome to Creativity, the podcast where art and engineering collide. My name is Max Maker, and this is my co-host, Jeremy S. Cook.
Hey guys, today we've got a special guest, and actually the first person we've invited on twice, so he's extra special. Please welcome our friend Pat Regan. How are you doing, Pat?
I'm doing good. How are you doing today, Jeremy?
Good. Now, obviously the thing on it. Oh, go ahead.
Am I the first guest that was invited back, or just the first guest that said yes a second time?
Both.
Yeah, both. I mean, most people, most people just can't take the hard hitting journalism that Max and I put out there. So we thought that if anybody could, it'd be you.
You guys
it's amazing
are
how easily we got our guests. Like everybody pretty much straight away said yes. Like Jimmy DiResta, Laura Kampf. They just said, yeah, sure.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I guess it's so easy for them to just sit there and talk about themselves for an hour that they love to come on.
Well, Elon didn't reply back to us, but that's probably
true.
because
We didn't get Elon Musk. But we could try to get his brother.
I guess to explain to everybody, we were talking a little bit earlier on the, the pre-podcast, the pregame, and we're just, anyway, if you want to look up somebody interesting, Kimball Musk, and we'd especially love to know where that hat's from, what that represents exactly.
What style of hat that is?
What style of hat
specifically
does he particularly wear? I guess he's from South Africa, and so by definition, it'd be.
Jeremy, can you invite him to the next podcast? Seriously.
Yeah. Okay.
That would be so cool if we don't get Elon, but his brother. He's got nothing to do right now anyway. He's got a restaurant, and it's closed down, I'm pretty sure. So
he's bored, like the rest of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not bored.
That brings up a good point, though. Pat. Since we had you on last time, I mean, some of your hobbies are quadcopters. Generally, well, anyway, you said you act like a retiree. So what? Now that everybody's kind of locked down, what are you up to these days?
Well, I'm doing almost exactly the same things I did before I was locked down. The most fun thing I've been doing, I bought one of these electric unicycles. Have you seen these yet?
I've seen your pictures
well, I know
on
you've
Twitter.
Seen me.
What's an electric unicycle?
It's like a Segway.
Yeah, I know a Segway, but it has two wheels.
It has two wheels.
One wheel.
It's true. You take a Segway. It's basically a Segway, but only one of the tires. So you have to balance left and right. It balances front to back for you.
Oh, you mean it's got a name, that thing, doesn't it?
Well, there's a couple of different companies have them with different names on them.
Okay. I know Adam Savage loves his. It's like a giant, like a kart tire, right?
That's a one wheel. And technically, yeah, that's also a unicycle. But the one wheel is more like a skateboard where you sit with your 1 foot in front and 1 foot behind the tire. And that's a big...
Yeah.
Those look pretty sweet.
They're pretty neat. The unicycle.
Oh, is it like a Segway 9-bot?
Yes.
That thing is just 550 euros?
I don't know. There's other companies that are making them now. I've got one that's even cheaper because I wanted I've been riding this electric bike. It's not really it's more like a scooter. It's a sit-down scooter. But it's too big and heavy to put it in the car easily. And that's been, so I only ride it here from the house. I never take it anywhere. And I wanted something that was lighter and easier to carry. And these unicycles, they just have a handle on the top like a suitcase. You just pick them up and they're only 25 pounds or so. At least the small one I bought is only 25 pounds. So you just throw it in the back of the car. Yeah. So a friend of mine ordered one that'll go 40 miles an hour. It's about a $2,000 unicycle. I'm terrified of it. I can't wait until he gets it because I want to try it. But I'm not so sure I want to go 40 miles an hour. That's like 800 kilometers or something. It's fast.
But can you crash these and then hurt yourself?
You could hit the pad with that.
Mine will only go 15 miles an hour. And I've fallen off it up over 10 miles an hour. And I didn't fall. My unicycle looks like it's been through. The aluminum pedals are all scuffed up. The plastic shell has scrapes and scratches all over it. But I haven't fallen down. I always land on my feet. You take a few steps. Yeah, if you fall at 15 miles an hour, you probably, you just run. You jump off and you run and you'll slow down and you'll be okay. But at 40 miles an hour, I don't think you can do that anymore. I think you're going to land on your face at 40 miles an hour.
So for those that don't quite know yet, and just to clarify, it's like a giant mountain bike wheel with two little pedals left and right that you stand on, right?
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, so it's just like a wheel with two pedals and nothing else.
Yep. And
I always saw them in videos, and I always thought they were just like prototypes or cool gimmicks. I know Toyota showed them off a lot in the past decade or two.
They're never going to be popular because they're too hard to figure out how to ride.
Okay.
Yeah. With my little bike thing, every time somebody at the park says to me, "Oh, that's really neat," I say, "Well, you want to try it?" And most of them just think I'm weird and say no. But about a third of them say, "Sure, I'll try it," and they always get right on it. They take right off. They ride a half mile away and come back, and they're like, "Yeah, this is really cool." But the unicycle, I've had 2 people try it so far. Just all they did was put their hand on the trunk of their car, put their feet on it, wobble around, fall off, and say, "Nope, I'm not even going to try it." It was.
I'm worried about these things that don't have a handle. Like an electric scooter, I really don't mind. But anything that's like a skateboard or so, I'm too afraid I just crash and hurt myself.
I have a friend I have 2 friends that have had electric skateboards. And my biggest complaint about them is those tiny little wheels that they have.
Yeah,
you feel every bump in the road. This big, mine's a 14-inch wheel with a rubber air-filled tire on it. You barely feel any bumps. It's just so smooth. But I have a unicycle. Those skateboards. It's just such a rough ride in comparison.
Yeah. It would be cool to drive along the coast. We've got like bike lanes all the way around the beaches. Like between the beach and the next road, there's always like a promenade that you can bike on and run on, and that would be awesome. But then the law here is they only recently, this year, they allowed to ride scooters, electric scooters. And you need a number plate that you just buy in a bank. The banks sell them for 25 euros, I think, for a year. But you need insurance for it, and there are very strict rules and really weird rules. Like you can't ride as fast as a bike, and you kind of have to use the bike lanes. But then sometimes you're not allowed to use the bike lane. You have to drive on the street. So it's really a compromise. And I bet some lobbyist groups from the bike industry made sure that these were not as good as bikes, and I don't think these unicycles would be allowed.
Yeah, and it's got to be rough if doesn't matter what the speed limits are, but if the speeds of the traffic are different.
Yeah.
I remember, it's been 20 years since I've driven through Ohio, but the interstates in Ohio, they have a different speed limit for semis. It's 10 miles an hour, 5 or 10 miles an hour lower than cars. And boy, is it a pain. The trucks are always in the way because they can't go fast. They still have to pass, but they have to pass slow. It's so stupid.
These little cars, they're like Italian, and they have just 3 wheels.
Yeah.
They are a special class of cars in Europe. When they updated these laws, they thought like, well, we've got some old ones of these left on the street, so we have to somehow include them. And they're quite slow anyway. So we give them speed limits of 45 kilometers an hour. And the normal speed limit in cities is 50 kilometers an hour. And now some people, they figured out that you can drive these with 16. You don't have to be 18 like for every other car, if it is that class. So now you can buy Fiat 500, which costs like 10, 11 grand. And then you can upgrade that, and they remove one wheel and put the other wheel in the middle of the rear. So then you've got a trike.
Oh, so I'd rather picture it with the wheel in the wrong place, though, just with one corner missing.
No, that conversion costs like another 6 grand. So then your kids can drive a car with 16, but just for 2 years.
Yeah, but you only have to keep it for 2 years. Then you can sell it to the next kid that needs it for
exactly.
2 years.
That's a good point.
Yeah, always too slow.
That's fantastic.
I didn't realize the driving age was 18 in Germany. It's for better or worse, it's 16 here in the U.S., which maybe is why Germany has a bit safer roads than us. Maybe that's one reason.
Yeah, but no speed limit on the motorway.
That's true. Yeah, I guess speaking to that, on your motorway, how do you handle the semis? I mean, because the cars are going extremely fast, I assume, and the semis can't.
Yeah, the semis are fine. They're always on the right lane, pretty much, unless they overtake. And the semi drivers, they're pretty good. I never really have to complain about them. But what's dangerous is when you're going on the left side with like 250 kilometers an hour, and then on the right side, somebody decides to overtake a lorry, goes onto your lane with maybe just 130. So
Wait,
it's like
250
somebody jumping in front of your car while you go 100 kilometers an hour.
You said 250 kilometers per hour. That's 153 miles per hour in actual units. So that's pretty impressive.
It's fast, but
that's a little bit faster than I've ever driven before.
Wait, so you on a regular basis go 250 miles or kilometers per hour max? Is that?
Yeah.
And what you
not
have
in my hometown, but
you have a BMW 3 Series, right?
4 Series now. Yeah.
4 Series, okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
It can go like 260, I think. Roughly, 260. But I often drive to the east of Germany, and the east of Germany is like your Middle East, I guess.
Our Middle East.
No, the Midwest. The Midwest.
The Midwest.
There's nobody there, so there's not a lot of traffic, so you can go really fast.
Right. Yeah, I don't feel like I might get into dangerous territory if I try to pick out the Middle East and the U.S. But yeah, I guess.
Well, it's similar, isn't it? You know, there are religious fanatics in both of these countries.
Well,
healthcare isn't that good.
Well, I don't know. So
lots of dust.
There would be lots of dust. I suppose I can say that without being too controversial.
I can feel your nervousness.
I don't want to get controversial on your podcast. I would feel bad.
Okay.
Sure. But I will say I do have something that's a little controversial to talk about, but not more like not that controversial. So Pat, as you know, you and Brian C. Moses, you guys have convinced me to get a FPV quadcopter.
I'm so excited about this.
I am too. But check it out. So I called I called Race Day Quads, right? And they were super service. They were great, as you said they would be. But they mailed it out from Orlando, and I don't know how familiar you are with the geography in Florida, but so Jackson. Anyway, I see the tracking. I'm like, okay, Orlando's like 2 hours away. Maybe it'll be here the next day, maybe Wednesday after that. But no, they sent it from Orlando to Jacksonville, which is like 2 hours north. And then they sent it back to like the Clearwater area, which is like 4 hours from Jacksonville. So it's like basically like if Max had if he'd I don't know German geography that well, but basically let's just say basically they made a triangle of the state to get it here, which isn't Race Day Quad's fault at all. But I guess I don't know if the post office is doing things a little differently these days or what.
Yeah, I wonder if that's the norm or if it's just something weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Jacksonville, it said Jacksonville was their hub, but it's like, really, you're going to drive it 2 hours north just to come back south and, southwest, in the southwest of Florida. So, but, that's not that controversial, is it? But
No, it's really not. Really sounds like a first world problem you're describing. We're starting to sound like the Tested podcast where they complain that they can't use their Bluetooth while they use the wireless on an airplane.
Yeah, it's quite the struggle. But I guess.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say I was hoping I could try it out like yesterday, and then we could have a discussion about it. But apparently, it's going to be here in the mail at some point. So,
there's a good side to this, and that's that you haven't lost it in the trees yet.
Yeah, that's true.
This is true. We do that. I have a stick in the car just for that. It lives in the car. It's always up. The big painter's pole that you can bring out to about 20 feet.
So you live in a fairly, I mean, not a small town, but people know you at this point, right? As that guy who has a quadcopter and is going around his unicycle and whatever.
A few people must. I heard I've been riding through the park the last few days. I've been bringing my wife with me. She's been riding the bike, and so she gets to tell me things that people say after I go by.
Wait, so you couldn't put her on like your back like Yoda in like Empire Strikes Back, or maybe like have her ride.
Maybe somebody
ride tandem.
could. We're gonna have to look for a video of this. That would be fantastic.
That would be. Anyway,
Yeah.
Not to interrupt your train of thought, but
Anyway. You're fine. But she did hear somebody say, who was on the phone, say, "There goes that guy again," after we went past. So people must notice. I mean, I've been riding. I'm trying to learn how to ride the thing, so I'm riding a lot, as much as I can. But I'm friendly. I say hello to literally everybody who's walking towards me. I say hello, and some of them don't say anything. Some of them say hello. Some of them smile. Some of them seem excited. You never know. We went by a bunch of kids one day, and this one kid yelled. He's all like, "Look at that guy! He's riding!" And then he paused, like he didn't know what to say, and then he said, "He's riding on the future." I was like, "Well, that's all right. I'll take that."
He's a man of the future, Pat Regan. If you ever ran for office, that could be your slogan.
The
Pat
man
Regan,
for the future.
The man for the future.
Of the future, by the future, for the future.
Yeah, so you heard it here. I mean, I guess you're announcing your campaign for.
I'm announcing my candidacy for office.
Right.
I don't know what office, but it's for an office.
The city.
Yeah, you've got the time for it, so.
This could be the city clerkman or city clerkman. I mean, you could make up your own title.
Man.
School council.
Yeah, school council. I mean, you don't have any kids in school, right? But why not just jump into that game?
Do you have to? Is that a requirement?
I don't think so. I mean, I think most people probably would if they,
I bet they have an age restriction that people that are in school cannot join school council.
I'll bet this is true too. I bet they did that on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess that was the.
So your FPV quadcopter, you got goggles with this?
Yeah, it came. Actually, I was shocked. Like the whole kit, less than $200. Had goggles, had a drone, had a controller, and it ordered an extra battery because I figured I'd probably run out of those pretty fast. And,
yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, so it's according to Pat, its predecessor, the Tiny Hawk 1,
original,
is pretty awesome. So I'm assuming the second one will be even better. I hope.
Yeah, they made a lot of good little upgrades. It has a nicer camera. It has a more powerful video transmitter, so you can fly it a little farther away. It's a good upgrade.
What kind of range are you getting out of?
2010, when I built a drone, and I just paid 100 euros just for the board itself.
Yeah.
And there was nothing else on there. No receiver, no nothing.
The first time I saw someone with an FPV quad, it was my friend Alex. He flew it around the parking lot at our makerspace. And I said, well, what do I have to do to get into this hobby? He said, well, first you have to buy these $300 goggles. Then you buy a $250 radio. Then you buy the $600 quad. And then you need batteries and a charger. And you need all this. And now you could just you could even go to Amazon and get that Tiny Hawk kit for $200, less than $200. And you can be flying the next day.
Pretty much.
It's so much different.
I was a little surprised. I was glad you came through for me on that, Pat, because I was looking it up on Amazon and even like eBay. It was very hard to find the Tiny Hawk 2, but Race Day Quads had them. We should, they should like sponsor our program, I guess, or sponsor you, Pat.
They should. They really should. I wonder if they have an affiliate program.
I don't know. I think they owe you like $2 or something.
Yeah, that's the cool thing. If you have affiliate links for expensive stuff like 3D printers, the commission is so much bigger.
Yeah, geez, every now and then somebody buys a DSLR from Amazon through my links. I'm like, yes,
Yes. Somebody bought some garden chairs. Like I've got affiliate links in there for my camera slider, and it's all electronics, like $5 or $10 each. And then one guy bought garden furniture, and somehow I got affiliate money for that.
Yeah, if you on Amazon at least, if you buy anything within 24 hours of clicking on your
from
link,
the same category.
You get.
No,
I don't think it even has to be. It's
anywhere
just
on the
anything.
site, as long as you don't pick up somebody else's affiliate cookie along the way. As long as
that's
you
really
didn't.
good.
So you gotta.
Yeah, my dumbest blog post is about this used recliner that I bought from a guy on Craigslist, and I replaced the springs in the seat. Right? Yeah, I paid like $50 for this recliner. I spent $10 on springs. I put it together, and that blog post in affiliate money on Amazon was making like $10 or $15 a month for years.
Wow.
I don't understand why. It makes no sense. It was one of my top 15 blog posts forever. I don't know why. I thought it was just a throwaway. Well, it kind of is. I mean, it's not.
Yeah. Well, and just well, let's go ahead and plug that. It's patshead.com. Is that correct?
It is patshead.com. My spinning head doc. Well, don't say that out loud. No, I shouldn't say it that way. Patshead.com, like possessive, like it's my head.
It's your head, not any.
Yeah, it's not plural. It's not like there's more than one pats, and it's not the verb pat, like patting.
Well, that's interesting because in legend or fiction or whatever, you might think there's like a two-headed man or a three-headed man or whatever, but you never think about a two-bodied man with one head. Like two pats.
No, you don't. Jeez, that poor guy. How does that work?
I mean, unless you had like 6 arms, like that guy on Mortal Kombat, that'd be pretty.
Yeah, 6 arms, cool. 2 torsos, and.
Yeah.
I don't get this conversation. That's
okay. I don't know why you're reminding me of this, but I saw a picture on Twitter or somewhere a while back that was a centaur in a Halloween costume, where he had a horse's head over his front body, and he had a fake, mannequin sitting on his back riding. Somehow,
okay.
It was. I don't know. That's not really Is that a 2-torsoed part? Is a centaur a 2-torsoed?
No, a centaur is like a horse with a upper body of a man.
A horse's torso with the torso of a man where his neck should be.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm saying torso way too many times. I apologize for this.
Yeah, but speaking of stupid videos, I recently released a video.
Did you watch one of mine?
Did you watch my latest livecast?
I made a tutorial on how to fix a washing machine, and it was a bit of a joke because I did it really crudely. But that's generating, a constant stream of people that have broken washing machines. So I think fixing something might be a good idea to upload, because you always get people on there that wouldn't normally search for like CNC stuff or 3D printing or FPV flying, but they want to fix a washing machine.
It's a good
friend
point.
of mine just told me you guys were talking about Elon Musk a lot before we got started talking, live here on the internet.
Right.
And a friend of mine, when his friend bought a Tesla Model 3, and it has all kinds of squeaks in body panels and stuff, and they very professionally put together 2 videos on how to fix 2 of those squeaks. And as soon as they were uploaded, tens of thousands of views almost immediately.
Nice.
Just because everybody wants to know how to fix their squeaky Model 3. And somebody offered to bring their Model S that has squeaks, drive it 3 hours to get here to town so that they can fix those squeaks and document how to do it to publish a video.
I had heard I think it was like a financial podcast or something like that, but it was talking about this guy who was basically, he made like diesel, like videos on how to fix like diesel engines, and he had a shop too, and basically just that he was getting just all kinds of like business from that, just that people knew that he could do it from his videos, and they didn't really want to fix it necessarily, but they knew that he was an authority on it from that. So I think it's
that's his resume.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I get a ton of people asking me if I can build them a juice press, because I built a juice press once. It's really simple, and the video gives you all the instructions, and it says it's just costs like $15.
What kind of
Still,
juice could I make with that?
Any juice, fruit juice, vegetable juice. It's just
Can you
pressed.
make me a
It's
juice
smashed
press?
together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Max
yeah.
will
I
do it
charge
for what?
400 euros for it.
$30.
And even a guy from India contacted me and said, "Can you make me a juice press?" And I'm like, "You live in India. You can't be anywhere where there's any cheaper labor than there. Just go out and ask anyone that does some woodworking. He will do it for you for a fraction of the cost. He will do it 10 times cheaper than the shipping alone would cost from Europe to India."
So I guess you
No,
didn't
I
sell
want a
that
juice
one.
press.
Yeah, you should have one.
I guess you didn't make that sale, did you, Max? That's you're out $10 or 10
No.
10 rupees or rupees. That's what they
This
use.
is why I don't sell anything, because everything on my Tindy store says you can 3D print this yourself for 50 cents.
Well,
For 3D print it yourself. Don't buy it from me. I don't want to print it. I don't want to do it.
You say that, but well, one thing we talked about last time was your Kestrel drone. Wasn't that actually something you were thinking about developing? How's that progressing?
I was, and I kind of decided not to. I decided not to have it manufactured. I did a lot of math. I did some, I don't want to say I did research. I mostly heard rumors about the quantities of things being sold, and I said, I don't want to be in that market. It's not big enough. I don't want to be competing there. It didn't make sense to me.
Right.
I'm bummed out about that. And now I don't know if you guys know.
Home.
Go bigger. Well, at least go medium.
Go medium. Go medium or go home.
And you guys probably don't know about this, but the FAA is trying to. Well, they're going to be changing the rules on what hobbyists can do with drones. And
I heard something about that, so I wanted to make sure I bought my drone before they.
Before.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Well,
let us know about this.
We have at least 3 years before the changes get in. But at the end of what was it? The end of February? I don't even know what day it is today. I'm all confused.
It's Thursday, maybe.
The
March.
FAA had a request for comments period that ended right before the coronavirus hit. And we were expecting them to say, yep, we're going to ignore all these comments and we're going to implement these new rules and forget it. But it hasn't happened yet. I guess everybody's homesick. So I guess they bought us some more time. But I guess the way the FAA rule changes work, on the day they decide the changes are going to be implemented, you have 36 months before those changes go into effect. So at least we get to fly for 3 more years, even if they really goof things up on us.
Okay,
but the
so
idea
what
is...
What are you expecting? Oh, good. Yes.
You have to have... It's all about remote identification. They want you to have a tracker on your drone, a little broadcasting little beacon to... This is very dumbed down. I'm not going into too much detail here, I hope. That broadcasts the location of... They need to know the location of where the pilot is and where the drone is. And that's not too big of a deal. If I had to add a little module to my existing drones, I would be perfectly okay with that. But the bigger problem is nothing is going to be allowed to fly under this remote ID flag unless the entire drone was manufactured and sold by an approved FAA vendor.
Oh, that's terrible. So basically,
it's really terrible.
Basically, it means hobbyists are done.
Done. Yeah.
Or companies, DJI.
DJI is against this even.
But
Really?
But they could become one of these vendors. I guess the big companies could.
They're expected to be. Yeah.
Well,
so basically, no FPV. We'll see.
I mean, it hasn't happened yet, right? So
yeah, I'm hoping. I'm still hopeful, but the biggest bummer. I shouldn't say this on the internet, in a recording, but I'm going to say it anyway. People are still going to fly and have fun because nobody's ever going to know. These things are the size of a large bird, right? A medium-sized bird. They're not.
But not.
But what happens if
you
you crash it into a car?
No, but not me. No, I would never do it. But the problem is, I can't post the videos to YouTube anymore. That's part of the fun, is doing something cool, making a video out of it, and uploading it. And now that'll be illegal.
I mean, I guess you could say that somebody else did it. Somebody else named.
This is somebody else's footage. This is my footage from 3 years ago.
That was
Just make sure there's no newspaper in the video.
That was Pat Regan, right? Not Pat Regan, not you.
Exactly.
That other guy.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's my twin brother. He lives in South Africa.
My evil twin brother. Did you guys know that my parents are twins?
Not with each other, I assume.
No, not with each other. No.
But they're both
separately, independently twins.
That's interesting. So did the other twin, did they marry each other too? Is that
No, they didn't.
That'd be even stranger. I guess it's not that strange.
I enjoy telling people this because the reactions people have, people think differently. I've had people tell me it's impossible, it's illegal. It's
why
well, I knew straight away that I shouldn't comment when you said it, so I just kept quiet. Before there's nothing here I can say instead of except
Well, I mean, why would people think it's either of those though? I mean, obviously, given the situation, not.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Sometimes you guys don't say anything right away. I'm assuming, sometimes there's a face made, an expression like a, confusion or, worry or something. It's always interesting.
It was slightly confusing to begin with, but then I got it. And
and then it's really simple. It makes plenty of sense when you get it.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
So are they are they fraternal twin? I mean, are they and their respective brothers or sisters? Are they fraternal?
My father's probably identical. My mother's not.
Okay. Well,
I say probably because we used to assume everybody was identical. There was a time when they just said, they look the same. They're identical twins. But I guess the genetics don't actually.
You don't have to be.
Prove that out. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But if you wear the same clothes, surely you must be identical.
Exactly. Yeah.
Of course.
I find it funny when I see adult twins that still dress the same. I think like, wow, after all these years, they haven't got tired of dressing up the same way or buying the same clothes even.
Yeah, do they do it all the time, or do they do like group Halloween costumes or something? Or is it just every day?
I see them walking in the street and it's like, oh, two twins. Oh, they wear the same things and they're in their 40s. So
you should have taken a picture of this. I'd like to see this.
Yeah, I bet they would be happy. Yeah.
Well, there's
what are you
always
doing? You're twins.
Them,
you have no rights.
You have no rights.
Well, one of them does. One of them has rights. The other's a clone, right? That's.
I guess they're both clone. How does it even work? I mean, I guess because they came from the same egg, right?
You should know how this works.
Yeah.
I mean, I do know. Parts of it, I guess, but that's what we pay doctors for, to deal with that stuff.
That's true. I'll ask the next doctor I see what his opinion on this is.
Yeah, I'm sure if you're rolling around in your with your GoPro camera and helmet on and on your unicycle, and you just happen to see a guy with a lab coat and a stethoscope, you can just that'll just be a normal interaction for him. Just ask him just how are twins?
You know what?
How are twins made?
Which twin is the clone? Which one?
Well, it's the one that's born second, I think. That's how that works.
Is that true? But is that the order though? Is it first in, first out, or is it?
The second clone is never as good as the original. It's like with YouTube videos. When you download them and re-upload them, there's always some losses.
Yeah, geez. What if they're both clones then? What if they both have the those copying mistakes?
I mean, I guess you could ask your parents, but they might not like that too much.
They might not. Yeah. I'll ask my father about this next time I talk to him. I'll see what he thinks.
Yeah, awkward discussions with your parents. We Germans never have these.
Well, I'll assume that's true. So good for you guys. We learned so much about different cultures here. That's why I appreciate these interactions, Max.
Yes.
when he says different cultures, he means we learned so much about Germans. Is what
I guess
really means.
I guess that's true.
He likes to highlight the differences between the cultures.
Just that's not a good segue at all. But before we forget, we should.
Speaking of different cultures,
you could have used the segue when he talked about a segue for a segue earlier.
I did. That would have been fantastic.
That's a good idea.
You know, those unicycles are just like half of a Segway.
Half of a Segway. Yeah, but speaking of that Segway, we should probably give a shout out to the people who help support our show. So, first of all, Old School DIY at GFC62. Thank you very much. Positive Waves. He actually watched my live cast the other day, so thanks for that. And then Stephen Booker, always appreciated because you were first one to sponsor us. So that's awesome. So thank you guys all for supporting us, and
thank you very much.
Hope you enjoy hope you're enjoying the show. And if any of you are twins, then hopefully you haven't been offended. And obviously, we hope that you can ask your brother and or sister to tune in next time, I guess, or maybe they do. I don't know. So,
are these lovely people you're reading off? Are these patrons on Patreon?
They are Patreon.
Yeah.
So
how do I support everything?
So you go to patreon.com and just look up the Creativity Podcast. And then if you give basically if you're in our top 5 supporters, then we give you a shout out on the air. And at this point, it's actually our top 3 supporters. So
it's
likely you become top 5 supporters.
I'm very disappointed that you didn't read off your 4th supporter. I'm very hurt.
Well, there isn't any yet.
Because I just signed up just now.
Oh, you did? Well, Pat Regan is actually our newest and latest.
Wait till the money comes through, Jeremy.
Oh, yeah, you should wait till the money comes through. Don't they do that once a month? It doesn't happen instantly.
I don't know. I just took a screenshot and from earlier, so we'd have it here. And I guess we said if you're a supporter at the time of recording, so we yet to have the issue where somebody subscribes during the recording. I mean, I guess we'll let you slide today, Pat. But
thank you. I appreciate it
because we're friends.
Yeah,
thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, we really appreciate that, though.
So, Jeremy, what have you been working on?
So yeah, I've been working on. Obviously, I've got some time these days. So one of my crazier projects. So my wife, she drinks a whole lot more coffee than I do. In fact, I almost never drink coffee, but she likes these Keurig coffee makers.
And she hates the environment.
Well, yeah.
And coffee. She hates coffee too.
Well,
no, I'm sorry.
No comment on that. She doesn't generally listen to the podcast, but it's anyway. So her Keurig, or I guess our Keurig, because since we were married and share stuff, although I've used it maybe 5 times, it's gotten nasty. It's gotten really nasty and just broke. So I thought, well, I can try to repair it, and I did. I got it flowing again, whatever. But then as I was repairing this, I just noticed all this nasty buildup on the water tank, I guess. And so I'm like, look, we're not gonna. I just can't have you drinking coffee out of this. It's just so nasty. I mean, it's something I would think I would do, but anyway, I won't go into that. But I'm surprised she was cool with it. You know what I'm saying? Generally,
I do.
Yeah. So we bought a new one for her. And it's awesome. But with the old one, I didn't want to throw it away. So I've been converting it to actually make it a plant watering device. So instead of spitting out coffee, now it'll spit out water. And, as you mentioned, instead of, putting stuff in the environment, it's growing plants and just, now it's fulfilling its ultimate purpose. Or so I hope.
That's cool. How did you get it?
How do the plants feel about the boiling water?
So the cool thing is, so I put a Raspberry Pi Zero in there to time it, and it's not done yet. And let's see, basically it's just got a motor, like a pump that pumps air in, and then it puts positive pressure through the cooking chamber, then just pours the water out. It's pretty cool. So yeah, cool thing is Arrow. I'm doing that as a project for Arrow, one of my customers, Arrow.com, and so I'll be able to write that up for them. So that's always nice when I can do something cool and people, pay me for it. So it's always good.
Yeah, it's a really good project.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks, man.
I'm enjoying the sound of this.
Yeah, thanks. So yeah, it should be awesome. I hope that I can make a video about it too. And then it should be awesome once it's done. Now, what about yourself, Max? What have you been working on these days?
Oh, these days, what have I done? I finished the hydrofoil motor testing, so I know I've got the right prop now. So next, I just need to put everything together, the final assembly, and then try it out on the water. So fingers crossed that it will work out.
Oh, I'm so excited because that's something we've been talking about since we started the podcast, I guess.
Yeah. It took forever.
Are we going to get to see video of it in operation?
Hopefully, if it works. I'm not sure yet if I can actually do it and if it will work, but that's the plan. And for that, I need now like a little cage around the prop to protect my feet from touching the prop. And that cage needs to be 3D printed. And so far, I had an Ultimaker original from 2011. That was one of these wooden kits that you assemble yourself. And it's a good printer. It's good resolution and all of that and good mechanics, but it never had a heated bed. And there's a heated bed upgrade, which I wasn't able to purchase anymore because it's not being made anymore. And I thought, maybe it's time for a new printer. So I looked around and Jeremy recommended one printer and I bought the other one, the Prusa. And that arrived last week. I assembled it and it's absolutely fantastic.
Well, that's awesome.
So well. I did like 6 prints so far. Every single one came out perfect. No issues. And the quality is so good. It's amazing.
I'm really
it's like
envious
it's injection molded.
Of the Prusa printers.
I'm a little jealous too. I just can't get over the way the bottom moves. It just bothers me for some reason.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, but it works great. So that's what matters, really, I guess.
We're talking about that the bed is moving instead of the extruder is moving back and forth. If you get what I mean.
Yep. Like a Prusa style printer.
Like a Prusa style printer, exactly.
So is that a Prusa style? Yeah.
It is, yeah. Well, my printer's a Prusa style printer, an i3. I guess the Mark II, his own Mark II is his own printer, but before he was making them, he had designs published, I guess. Open source designs.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they all had a moving bed, pretty sure.
Okay.
Somebody will tell me I'm lying about that, though. I'm sure. I'm sure.
I know there was the Mendel, I think, as well.
Yep.
Prusa Mendel. And back then, they were like the first ones that you could fully 3D print. Like the idea was that a printer prints another printer for your friend.
Yeah, I think the Mendel was all probably not all, but it was a lot of all thread rods tied together, wasn't it?
You printed one of those for somebody that you didn't want you didn't really like, that you wanted. Well, I need him out of my way for a while so I can go do something. No, it's all jokes. So don't be, But so Pat, what about you? What have you been working on these days?
Well, I was worried that I was going to forget to mention this, but it feels like for almost a year we've been planning this, and I finally ordered prototypes. A German friend of mine, so we've got German engineering going on here. A German friend of mine has designed us a board. It's a printed circuit board with, I'm drawing a blank on how many LEDs. It's got 2 rings of LEDs, these concentric rings, and there's about 90, I think it's 92 LEDs total.
Wow.
I hope I'm not lying about that. But the board he's designed us, it's got, I just sent it to PCBWay, a couple weeks ago. It's got 229 components, surface mount components, and he's very worried that the prototypes aren't going to work. But we're calling it, Everything's going to be open source. The hardware designs are going to be open. I don't know whatever license he wants is what I'll end up using, but the hardware will be open source. The software will be open source. Our plan is, we were talking about affiliate links, affiliate marketing earlier, and it always bums me out to only get, I don't want to sound like I'm just doing this to make money, but I'd like to make money. That'd be nice. But I'm sick of taking 3% of a sale, right? I'd like to take, whatever the I'd like to keep all the profit, not just a slice of it.
But like 120% of the sale.
120% of how do you do that? How do we do that?
I don't know.
But I figured we should have a product, and my friend Brian and we have quite a few popular blog posts that are targeted at various server-related DIY, do-it-yourself, homemade, in-home server stuff. He has lots of NAS builds, and I have some virtual server builds. And I thought, well, what if we had a blinking lights thing that goes into a drive bay? It takes you a 5.25-inch drive bay.
That's a really cool idea.
And the plan was originally, have you guys ever seen a Decatron? Decatron with a K. It's Russian. They're vacuum tubes. They're high voltage vacuum tubes from like the 60s or 50s or something, where it's just a ring of LEDs. I think there's 10. They're multiples of 10. I think it's 20 or 30 LEDs in there, and they spin around like just like the little Apple logo. That's the little pointer that spins when you're waiting, that sort of thing. But that's all I wanted. I just wanted 2 LED Decatrons. And then he said, well, what if we make them NeoPixels? Because the they're not the WS2812s. They came out with a new WS2812 right as we were designing this. We were going to use the 5mm. I think they're 4 or 5 millimeter square LEDs. And we weren't going to be able to fit many LEDs in a 5.25-inch bay. But then they came out with 2 millimeter versions of these NeoPixel LEDs. And we fit a lot of 2 millimeter LEDs.
And these LEDs, they have like a little networking chip inside, right? That you can turn each of them on separately.
Exactly, and it's very fascinating how these actually work, because you send a stream of bytes at these things, and the first one in the ring reads the bytes, takes the first packet out, and then sends the rest of the data on to the next LED. And he pulls one out and sends all but that one to the next one, and they go down the chain. I can't believe.
So what if one LED is broken?
Then you're probably in big trouble. I imagine that's going to be bad news. I don't know how. I don't think we'd be able to control 200 and something RGB LEDs. Well, it's not 200. 100 RGB LEDs. Many other way. I don't think we'd be capable of doing it in a safer way.
Just so we're clear here, PCBWay is doing the whole assembly, right? Not just the PCB. They're placing the 2 millimeter.
They're everything. Yeah, they're doing the pick and place.
Nice.
And because my friend said, well, we could save money, and he said, when you get them, you could do the pick and place manually. And so I said, no. I don't think I could solder 200 2 millimeter parts. I don't think I'm getting pretty good at soldering, but I don't think I could manage that.
I mean, I wouldn't want to manage that. That sounds pretty horrible.
But we went from I was going to do 2 rings, one on the left, one on the right. I was picturing red LEDs, but then he said, let's go RGB. And then he said, well, what if we put a ring inside a ring inside a ring? So we have 3 rings and then 1 pixel in the center. So we figure we could do things like clocks and, bar graph. Well, not bar graph. Like I figured it would be useful for stuff like how much disk space is in use. You could light up half of a ring, from 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock would be 50% full. And you could do network speed maybe by, sending a pixel around in a circle in one direction, 2 directions, that sort of. But now we have all these LEDs. I'm terrified. I've no idea what kind of cool things we're going to do now that there's 4.
No, that sounds awesome.
Rings. I'm excited. And we're using an ESP8266 for the microcontroller, so it'll have Wi-Fi.
Oh, so you don't have to have a PC at all. It could be just independent if you want to.
Exactly. I want to have I want one on my desk. I don't want it in my computer.
Nice.
Or I figure you can put it on a shelf or something, and it'll run. It can be run off battery. It can be run off of USB power.
Nice. What are you calling this device? Let's make
Whoa,
sure we
that's
plug
That's
it.
smart, Jeremy, because that should have been the first thing I said. That's the. Well, we did a lot of deliberation to come up with this name here. We can't. We're calling it Uber Lights, but with 2 O's instead of a U.
Good for you.
OOBER. Is that good?
Because I saw a lawsuit coming in, but
I like that. Like Uber.
Ooh. But
Ooh.
if somebody sues us and we can't use the name, that'll be okay. I'm not really married to the name. I like the device more than the name, but I'm still excited.
I like the name. I mean, it's not like the car company has the, it's Uber as in the context of cars. It's not like Uber. Like I can patent the word, trademark the word, like, I don't know, chair. It's chair. I can't. Nobody else can use that. It's like
like Apple.
Like Apple, exactly. I mean, I could call. Well, they probably have.
Yeah, but people have gotten into trouble for using Apple outside of technology. I figure whoever has the most expensive lawyers is going to win, even if it's a terrible lawsuit. And I don't want to spend any money on lawyers, so I'll just say, no, it's fine.
I have a product that are like 3 tiers, 1, 2, and 3, and I thought I can't call us the 1 series and 2 series because then maybe some lawyer at BMW is bored and they start to sue me. So I thought I'd just go with Uno, Duo, Trio, which is French.
Oh, okay. See, I thought that was going to be Spanish.
I thought you were going Spanish on this, but
I don't know. Either way, now my competitors use exactly the same name for the same product that they copied.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
I can't do anything about it.
Maybe you could sue them. I'm sure you got...
Not really, no. It's just a name.
Fair enough.
He didn't get the trademark.
No,
I didn't get a trademark either. I'm in trouble.
Like, Uber. Let's just go ahead and I just want to make sure that the name of it is Uber. That's
Lights.
Uber
and I
Lights.
think it's going to be plural, even if it's just one of them, because there's a lot of LEDs on there, so it makes more. I tried using it in sentences without the S on the end, and I don't like it. I was unhappy.
Well, that's awesome. And so I guess,
but hopefully I get enough prototypes that I can send you guys some to try out.
I would love to try it out. That'd be awesome.
Well, I would love for you to try them out.
So
I had to get 10. I wanted to get 12, but they would only let me get 10 or 15, and 15 seemed like too many. So
I don't know. I think, man, I hope next time we talk to you, 200 is going to seem like too few. I think.
Oh, I hope so too. Well, we don't know that they're going to work. He's never designed an electronics board before. This is going to be fun. He's very nervous. And I told him, no, it's not too bad. I keep telling him, as long as the set of prototypes costs less than $1,000, it's going to be, don't worry about it. It won't, if I'm taking all the risk, I'm not worried. It'll work or it won't.
Cool. And so you're going to sell them on Tindy, or are you going to do like a Kickstarter, or what are you planning?
I would love to be able to do a Kickstarter. I don't know. Am I allowed to talk about like traffic numbers on websites and things? Is that kosher?
Why not?
Fine with me.
Sure. Well, I figure me and Brian get at least 1,000, 1,200 unique visits a day on NAS and server related stuff. So we have all, but we're not. So we kind of have a market. We have people that would want it. Drop them by every day. So I figure it should be easy to sell a few hundred of them without much trouble. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking we buy a few hundred. If it works, it works. And if they sell, they sell, and it's great. And then by then we'll have better software. Because I figure we can start selling them as soon as I can get it to, display some disk space and network traffic stuff. It doesn't have to use all of the every ring of LEDs for something unique right away, right?
Yeah.
I could get started, and then it's a product, and and especially I know with the ESP we can set up over-the-air updates to make it a little easier, and I'd like to have the over-the-air updates ready to go and something working, and then we can start selling it. And then as we get the software a little better, I figure the Kickstarter could be used to pay. Maybe if we get that far, it'd be amazing if we can get far enough to need injection molded cases to put them on your desk or something. Maybe. I don't know. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, well, I mean, Uber Light sounds like a fantastic idea. So hope you.
Thank you.
Hope.
Yeah, and you can start with acrylic, laser cut acrylic instead of injection molded.
Oh, that sounds even better, Pat. That sounds awesome. I'm really excited about this idea. So
me too. Thank you. But when we started this, we got to the end of we were ready with the electronics design right as Chinese New Year started, and then I said, well, we have to wait till the end of Chinese New Year to order, and then China never really opened back up. By the time I started uploading things to PCBWay, it started saying the ETA was going to be 20 days, and then 30 days, and then 40 days. And then by the time I actually got everything finalized and all the emails were exchanged, we were up to 75 days to get the 10 prototypes.
It's like the whole world's on Chinese New Year.
It really is.
It's like once I don't know. I shouldn't make any jokes because obviously it's a serious matter. I hope we get through this. Hope somebody finds a cure or etc. I mean, yeah, I'm obviously babbling on a little bit, but
am I supposed to bail you out? Am I?
Yeah. I just thought about making the joke that my grandma died, but then you would say, "Oh, that's terrible," but then I would say, "Well, no, she died a few years ago."
Oh, because I was going to ask Max, did she die? I was going to be sad.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
I'm glad I didn't do that joke.
Yeah, that would have been kind of a bad joke. But yeah. So, do we want to wrap it up? See where we can find everybody. Does that sound good to you guys?
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are the boss. I'm just along for the ride.
I don't mind. We can keep going.
Well, if we had anything else, I'm okay with whatever. So don't let me.
How long do you guys aim to make your? How long do you guys aim to make your episodes?
We don't. You don't have a plan for this. It's called the Creativity Podcast, where art and engineering collide, and we don't even talk about art.
I feel like engineering is a form of art. I really, really believe that. So.
Yeah, and you guys talked to me about FPV freestyle quads, and that's all art on YouTube.
It's like performance.
Sort of.
It's performance art. It's like a dance.
Performance art. Yeah, there's music and everything usually.
That's funny.
Nice.
I'm working on something.
Is it something you could tell us about on the podcast?
Yeah. It's my dad is getting an RV, and he wants to put a Fiat 500 in the back of it. So I'm
inside.
I'm designing a giant drawer slide for that.
Wow! How do you get it down to the ground? Is it a ramp, like a ramp?
Yeah. The drawer slide is at an angle, and the car has to be at an angle as well. And now that, I did a ton of work on this, and now I just realized it doesn't fit. There's no way it will fit.
The drawer or the Fiat?
Oh, the Fiat will fit, just not with the drawer. Like, it kind of has to be so low on the ground that you can't have a drawer around it.
See, and Max, that at my age, all I picture when you talk about this is Knight Rider and the car driving up into the back of the truck.
That's
can you do this at speed like they did on the show? Just back out of there while it's going on the highway?
I think so. You just have to go slow.
It's funny. Go ahead, Max.
Yeah, well, I saw one company. They did this with like a chain drive. And I thought, like, wow, this chain must be super expensive and oily and greasy and so on. And then I thought, I do differently. And then a different company, like a commercial company, they do it with a gear and one of these, like it's like a linear gear, how they call it, a spur gear, and a rack and pinion.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, you know, it's like a long gear. It's straight instead of. And I thought, no, that can't be good either. You have to be precise for that. And then lead screws, they're out of the question because they have to be so long and really precise. They would just bind. And I figured now I just do it like a 3D printer slide, just with belts. You know, tooth belts, timing belts, and they would pull it up and down. But then I realized you can't get belts that are that strong enough.
Yeah. No, that's a cool idea.
Well, you just need
though.
more belts. You're not using enough belts.
Yeah, so what I arrived now, then I thought a winch would be awesome, but a winch can only pull in one direction, not in the other.
Oh, go ahead. I don't want to steal your idea.
Yeah, you have to push it out. So now I'm using belts, I think, but multiple.
I wanted to use a winch to make a standing desk once, and I remember puzzling out how to make the winch move the desk in both directions.
Yeah, doesn't.
With some kind, I forget how I did it. It was some kind of pulley system, and I think it would have worked.
Yeah, with a standing desk, it works because gravity pulls it back down.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're wanting to make like a space desk or something, you know. But
gravity. I might have been using. I don't want to say I wasn't using gravity for sure, but I probably was using gravity.
Well, you know, Pat, you're a man of the future, so we don't want to assume that you're going to be on Earth.
Yeah, this is true. It could be in space, a space standing desk. This is not fresh enough on my mind for me to say with confidence that I didn't need gravity, because I don't want to say I'm going to be embarrassed if I'm wrong, so I'm not going to say I didn't use gravity.
It's okay.
Here the issue is gravity. I calculated like the car and the angle and all of that. Yeah, the gravity is it's 200 kilograms pulling on the drawer when it wants to slide out. That's enough, I think. But then if the slide is empty, it's just, I think, 20 kilograms. So if there's something in the way, it will just stop moving, and then you have to move it by hand, maybe. Yeah, none of this is ideal.
He doesn't have to. Can he operate it manually? Like, I'm picturing a U-Haul ramp.
It's just size. The size is just so tiny. It has to be so compact and also so strong because of this huge, like a cantilever beam. The drawer is so long and sticking out so much that the forces are insane.
Does it have to be one ramp, or can it be one per wheel, per side?
Well, it has to be one ramp.
Well, no, I mean we load. I've loaded cars onto trailers that have two ramps, two little ramp, one for each. One for the left tire, one for the right tire. You just have to put them at the right width so that and on these trailers you can move them in and out so that you can line it up with the car depending on how wide the car is.
Yeah, well, I have to think about it.
I guess that's the fun and the frustration of doing engineering. Gotta always things just don't work.
But I got the manufacturer to send me CAD files of the garage of that RV, which was really nice that they sent it to me.
Oh yeah, that's surprising. I mean, that's awesome.
I want to see this happen. I really want to watch this.
Me too.
I want to watch this video.
Yeah, and it's.
Yeah.
And
when you get your hydrofoil going, I want to find somebody in Germany to follow you with an FPV quadcopter out on the.
Oh, I've got them sorted out. The local newspaper, I'll try to make them come.
Oh, that's exciting too.
Yeah.
Max is a celebrity, just like you are in Texas. You know, they're like,
it's that guy again.
And in Germany, all through Germany. They say, it's that guy that with the hydrofoil that doesn't quite work.
I was on the front page of the local newspaper, and it said water skiers are terrorizing bathing guests on the local pond.
Is that you?
Yeah. We built a wakeboard winch And we used it on the local pond to go water skiing, basically. And we stayed well clear of any people, obviously, but somebody complained so often to the police. They came out 8 times in one day, and they always said, well, we can't stop them from doing this. Like, we're not the water police, and it's a pond. The water police.
Guard.
Yeah, they couldn't even come here.
But
They've got,
what Max
one car, but only for emergencies, they say.
What Max isn't telling you is that while they were skiing, they had airsoft guns and they were shooting all the bystanders on the shore. And
I don't want to change the subject on you, but I have to. I got my first Nerf gun a few weeks ago. Well, what happened was I got Brian's son a Nerf gun for his 4th birthday, and I figured out it was cool, so I got a Nerf gun and 200 rounds of ammo. And we had them here while we were racing those Tiny Hawk size quads around the house. And we figured out that a fun game is to shoot the little tiny quadcopters out of the sky in the house with the Nerf gun.
Oh, nice.
It's very hard to do, but it's fantastic when it works. When you hit them, it's everybody gets excited.
I have to get my kids to participate in that. I'm sure they'll be happy to.
You absolutely will. It's fantastic.
It sounds really good.
Nice. Well, I guess Pat, I guess you want to tell us where we can find you if you're interested in seeing what your exploits.
I sure can. The best place to find me is at patshead.com because that's where I really put everything. I should probably plug our other blog, butterwhat.com.
Butter what?
Butter what? Yeah, it's very hard to find a domain name. And you have to say it with the question mark and the exclamation point at the end.
Butter what?
Exactly. How did you do that? Have you heard us say that like that before? I'm amazed. That's exactly the way we say it when we're goofing around.
Wow. Well, thank you. I don't know what to say. I guess it's just how I guess unlike your last name, that's how I heard it when it was spelled out. I heard it correctly. This is
fantastic. I'm very excited about this.
Nice. So, and yeah, I guess you have Butter What, you talk about like products and stuff, and what is that site all about?
The idea was, it's kind of, I always describe it when I talk to people as, you guys ever see The Big Lebowski?
Yeah.
The movie. You know that the dude's rug that really tied the room together? That's kind of what Butter What's supposed to be. It's supposed to be the blog that ties our other blogs together.
Okay.
And not just ours. We're hoping other people's blogs too, but you got to start somewhere.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping that when I get this FPV drone going, I can do a little post for you guys. And I'm not fishing here. I've already, we've already discussed it a little bit. So
it's true.
Hopefully I can.
And I hope that blog post gets to tie into stuff that your content is that's it. We want to spread some of our Google mojo out.
Spread the Google.
Spread the Google juju around.
And of course, when you get your Uber lights going, I'm sure Butterwhat will have a little post about that too. Correct?
Absolutely. Everything will have all of our stuff will have posts about that because we'll be excited.
You gotta butter the Uber lights up, I suppose.
It's true. I like that.
Yeah. Now, what about you, Max? Where can we find you these days?
Oh, on YouTube, Max Maker on YouTube. That's where you find me. And on Instagram, I'm trying to post almost every day.
Shut up! I didn't know you were on Instagram. I've been trying to use Instagram.
I still don't get what these stories are and why is there a separate Instagram TV? I'm a millennial. I should know this stuff, but
are you Max Maker YouTube? Is this one you?
Yeah,
that's me. Not the other Max Maker.
There's 8 of them. There's a lot.
but he's this guy we're talking to is the real one.
The real one. Mm-hmm. Oh, and now you're at the top of the list because I followed you, so I put you right at the top, so it doesn't even matter.
Thank you.
Nice.
Yeah, if you figure out what these stories are, let me know.
Yeah,
I'm afraid to
hit
that button. I don't understand what to say into the camera.
Yeah, and then it says like, oh, you can't post this video. It's 10 seconds too long, so you have to post it as an Instagram TV video. And why is this even TV?
Yeah, and those show up differently somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was so mad when I had a 2-minute video I posted to Twitter that I thought was short, and then Instagram didn't even... I just tried to post it as an Instagram post. They didn't tell me I couldn't post a 2-minute video. They just stopped it at a minute. 60 seconds. They just chopped it right off. It's like, where'd the rest of it go? That was the best part.
If you think that's complicated, I recently tried... I tried to set up commercials, like advertisements on Instagram. And there are like a million options that you can choose on that stupid Facebook page. You have to do it over Facebook. It took me 4 hours to get it done.
Was it worth it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I get lots of traffic from that, but only young people, and they don't have money.
Oh, well, that's disappointing. Well, I guess as for me, I do not use Instagram or Facebook, but you can find me at Jeremy S. Cook on Twitter if you like, or I'm on YouTube as well. I'm just going by Jeremy Cook there now because, well, you know, before when you search, before when you search for Jeremy S. Cook, it said, "Do you mean Jeremy Cook?" And it went to somebody else. I'm like, you know what? I just can't. I can't. I was like, butter what? And I can't have that, you know?
It's true. You're right. Well, why aren't you posting on Instagram, Jeremy?
You know, honestly, it comes down to my my issues with Facebook. You know, it's like if Instagram wasn't owned by Facebook, I might consider it. But also, there's somebody else that has the name Jeremy S. Cook there already. So, you know, I feel like
you're not supposed to have that name anymore.
Yeah, I guess.
The thing that convinced me to post to Instagram, they told me, the way to do Instagram is just post a picture every day. And I said, I take pictures all the time. I can post a picture every day. I can handle that. I'm not doing a good job of it, though.
Not a lot of people like my pictures.
Well, that's okay.
What's really popular
I don't see them, but I like them.
Did you hear about 5-minute crafts? That's one channel, and they do like 5-minute crafts. They do like bullshit with popsicle sticks and making some cakes and all of that. And they're part of a Russian media company, and they've got 200 channels. And I think together they have about 60 million subscribers over these 200 channels. Like their office is littered with silver play buttons and gold play buttons and all of that. And they just make this stuff up. They make recipes for cakes that don't work, but they look good on camera. And they grab your attention on Instagram. You watch these stupid videos. You learn nothing, but they're really good at what they're doing.
Instagram keeps showing me these ads for sneakers that I can use to step on rusty nails.
Yes.
And boy, I really want a pair. I think that'd be fantastic. What if I step on a rusty nail?
And they drive over the foot with a car.
They do, yeah. Do they work? Have you guys tried them?
Oh, I have not tried them.
I'm afraid to try them. I don't think they'll work. I don't want to test them. Not on purpose or by mistake.
Yeah, I mean, why are you stepping on a rusty nail anyway? I feel like if I'm going to step on a nail...
They don't even step on a nasty rail. They take a nail and they kick it down flat, basically.
Yeah.
In the video, they don't even do it properly. They don't stand on it and try to push through the sole. They just push it flat.
Oh, well, yep. I could do that. I could do it with my standard issue safety sandals that I wear in the garage.
Oh, I always wear safety boots now. I really do.
Yeah, no, that's true. I don't, you guys should wear boots or at least shoes.
Yeah, and today I wore my respirator
wear a helmet when you
shopping.
ride your unicycle.
Right.
I always have to be reminded of that, so I have to say it out loud all the time.
No, I
get in big trouble when I go out.
I'll say I didn't always wear a helmet when I was riding a bike, like growing up. I pretty much didn't ever growing up, but then started mountain biking, and that definitely saved my head from injury at least once or twice. And then, now that I've got a kid, it's like, well, if I'm going to ride and want him to wear a helmet, I should probably be like a good example to him.
Only dads wear helmets.
The example.
Yeah,
we do this when new pilots fly with us. When I fly by myself, I land right next to my feet, so I could just bend over in my chair and pick the quadcopter up. But I don't want the new pilots to land anywhere near me. So, so you want to, you don't want, if I do it, then they're gonna, it's kind of the monkey see, monkey do, right? You want to set a good example for safety.
Well, good for you. I'll have to remember that when I'm flying around my Tiny Hawk 2.
Yeah. You can't hurt yourself with the Tiny Hawk is the nice thing, but it's good to practice the safety anyway, so that when you fly something that is dangerous.
Yeah. Well, hey, what kind of range can you get out of those? Like, can I expect 100 feet, 100 yards, 100 meters?
You could.
I guess that's about 100 yards.
That one has I don't know what that's a higher output VTX than my Tiny Hawk. And my Tiny Hawk has the basic 25 milliwatt, definitely legal by the FCC VTX, and I can get around anybody's house inside the house. And inside's worse because there's walls and everything, right? That's terrible for 5.8 gigahertz.
Okay.
But I fly my 25 milliwatt. I have a Tiny Hawk Freestyle. That's the bigger Tiny Hawk with the same hardware on the inside.
So it's
I fly that outside.
Medium Hawk.
Medium Hawk, yeah. They did a bad job calling the first one the Tiny Hawk, I think, because then, they goofed, I think. But this one outside, I can fly at a good 400 or 500 feet without too much. There's a little bit of static, but it's not.
Oh, nice.
It's not bad.
Well, should be good. So thank you, and
you're going down a rabbit hole.
Make sure you film
or
your first attempt. Yeah.
Yeah, I should probably do that. So
yeah, you're gonna have a lot of fun.
Nice. Yeah. Well, man, it's really great talking to you as always, Pat. I guess I could say that for the first time since we're having you on your first repeat customer.
Yeah, he's a really good guest. He doesn't do any racist jokes. Yeah.
I saved those for pregame. I don't know that I did any racist jokes, but I think I might have been on the borderline, maybe. I don't know.
Borderline. Yeah. Just check out Kimball Musk's shirt and hat and just make your own jokes to that.
I didn't even notice his shirt. I'm gonna have to go back and look now.
What's up with the shirt?
Do it after.
Well, it's just like a flannel shirt. I guess you could make jokes about that.
It's a warm shirt.
There's always a way to get in trouble.
It's an inappropriately warm shirt when you're wearing like a lightweight cowboy style hat, because obviously you're prepared for like a sunny, hot environment. So why are you wearing a flannel shirt? You should be wearing like a cutoff t-shirt or whatever. I gotta,
Yeah, it's like, when do you wear hats? Should you wear hats if you're not on a horse?
Sometimes your hat should be a helmet. I've learned it's important.
Yeah. That's
a good point.
That's a good advice.
Well, that's probably a good a time as any to end the podcast, I guess.
Yeah, and I didn't tell you guys that it's been fun talking to you guys again. I meant to, but
you don't have to. That's okay.
I know I don't have to, but
you just did.
I don't have to say hello to everybody I ride past on the bike trail, but I do.
I say hello. Like, if somebody doesn't greet me back, next time I say really loud hello.
And that's why they know you as that guy in Germany or in
yeah. This week
Sometimes
I yelled at
say
somebody.
hello to the same person 3 times in the same day, going in different directions.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Take it easy.
You too. You guys have a good time. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Morning.